I'm Bea.
And I'm Sam.
And we're two best friends who like to talk shit about smut, wingspan,
And sometimes books.
Join us every Wednesday for a new episode.
We are live!
Once again.
Yay!
3 for 3 this evening, but in the world of podcasting, good morning.
Yeah,
happy
good
Wednesday.
Afternoon.
No, it comes out at 6 o'clock in the morning, this does.
It doesn't mean somebody's listening.
No, but happy Wednesday.
Happy hump day.
It's a Monday right now in the past. Ooh.
Happy middle of January. It's the 14th of January already.
That's a stinker, innit?
Yeah, right the way through.
I'm probably crying about how skint I am.
Because probably crying over your book.
Yeah, and that as well. Because I get paid early. I spend all my money in December, then January comes.
I know,
and
I'm getting paid on the 19th.
Mine's not that early. I don't know when it is. It's not quite that early, but that's rough. Yeah. So what better way to blow away your January blues than listen to us talk absolute fucking bullshit about a book that, to be honest, we probably spoiled a lot of the plot twists.
No, we didn't.
I'm convinced we spoiled loads of Everqueen plot twists in last week's episode, but anyway, if we did, it is what it is. Again, we've said this because we've been bulk recording because of the holiday season. We're not going to do our usual What We Readings because they've been the same for
3 weeks.
3 weeks in a row. We're back with the Everqueen. So we left off in the Everking that Livia Ferris gets kidnapped.
By Eric Bloodsinger's brother.
That he didn't know that he had.
No.
Who was an older brother.
Yeah.
That his dad had out, not with Eric's mother.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's the rightful heir to the Ever throne because he's the older one.
Yeah.
Also, he's a piece of work.
Yeah, he's a little piece of shit.
And we find out in this book that he is allied with elves. Now, in the Broken Kingdoms world, Everworld, we've never had elves. We've had fae, but elves are a different race.
Yeah.
In terms of genealogy, not that much is that different. Maybe the shape of their ears.
Yeah.
They're a bit more elvy in the Tolkien sense.
Yeah.
A bit more ethereal.
Yeah.
And they do have magic that's more specific to their kind.
Yeah.
They live on this isle called, you said it last week,
Nat Haven,
thank you. And it's like a misting isle, so it can appear and reappear where they wish it to.
Yes.
Which is really fucking scary when Olivia's been kidnapped and taken there, because how the fuck do you find it if it can just disappear?
Well, I can't remember who from Eric's crew, whether it's Gavin or somebody else.
I think it's Gavin.
And travels through the water.
Yeah, so he
pops up in the toilet.
Yeah, so he says take me to Livia, but he obviously doesn't know where that is.
Yeah.
And he just appears in the bathroom. Does he come out of the sink or something? Yeah. And she's like, what the fuck? And I don't think she knew at that point that that's what his magic was.
No.
I think we'd met Gavin. We didn't know that's what he could do. And he's like, where are we? And she's like, you fucking tell me.
Yeah. But she makes him go.
Yeah,
she doesn't let him stay.
No.
She makes him leave. But in the meanwhile, Eric has been captured by Livia's mum and dad.
Yeah.
And they're trying to feel out his motives. And he is like, why are we taking so fucking long?
We need to get back.
Need to leave. And her brother takes a shine to him.
Oh, yes. So
and,
cute.
He sort of uses her brother to escape.
Yeah.
And leaves him in the cell.
Yeah.
And Alexander, Jonas, Sander go with him to get back to the Ever to try and find her.
Because previously in Everking, just to catch you up, Alexei had made it through the rift to go find Livia. So when he comes back to the Earth Fae realms where Livia's mum and dad are king and queen, he's kind of vouching for Bloodsinger and saying, look, I know he kidnapped her, I know he's bad, but the people that have kidnapped her now are way worse.
Yeah.
So we need to go get them.
Yeah. Livia almost tries to break out and is running through the forest, and she meets Scardinia, who tries to help her and tell her the land will only release you if it wants to. The land is almost sentient.
Yes.
It chooses when we move. If it doesn't want to move, it won't.
Yeah.
And it'll only let people in and release people that it wants to. So you're shit out of luck, really. But but it's trying to help her.
Yeah.
Then the next time we meet her, because Arion has been using her to do bad things with her magic,
Yes.
she's like gone like all cold and like not friendly.
And Arion is the one, so he's also an elf.
Yeah.
And he's a prince. Skadi is a princess, but they're from two different clans of elves.
Yeah, she's dark, he's light.
Yeah. And the ruling kingdom, the rulers of the land of Nat Haven are the dark ones. So her grandfather is the king. And her grandfather's in some kind of slumber, isn't he?
Yeah, he's almost like in a coma.
Yeah. And Arion is the one who's allied with Bloodsinger's brother.
Yeah.
And that's how they got Livia to the elf lands. But yeah, so you say about Skadi, like the first interaction she has with the Skadi's quite like evidently just trying to help Livia, like feels
she's
bad
quite
for
nice.
her. And then the next time you meet her, she's like really bizarre, like really reserved, like really fucking weird. And you find out that like if she uses her magic for bad, it like takes her soul away, basically.
Like strips her soul, and then she's just like a husk of a person. It's fucking mental.
And so this Arion, like when you see the interactions between Skadi and Arion, it's rough. You can tell that he's so coercive and controlling. Like it's not nice. And I think we find out then and there that she's promised to him. Yeah, they're gonna get married.
Yeah, and then their magics will like combine. Wild.
Yeah,
I can't remember part of the plot.
Oh, good.
But
I'm glad. Well, welcome to a pod of Smut and Wingspan. I can't remember part of the plot, but we're going to talk about it for 40 minutes.
But Eric goes to like another house, and there's a guy who's like enslaved his daughter, and she's got like a certain type of magic. Yeah. And they end up taking her. They say like, do you want to come with us? And she's like, yeah, okay. Yeah. But I can't remember what she can do. Is it that she can find people?
Is she like a seer, maybe, or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Like there's something to do with like water in a pool and she can see or something like that. I don't know.
I feel like she's integral to the plot at this point, but I can't remember what she does.
I feel like in this book as well, I think we find it out in book 1 about this head of the witches basically being his grandmother, but she's much more of a prevalent character in this. Yeah. And I think in this you get a lot more of the dynamics between the different, like you said, houses within the Ever. Yeah. We do find out in this book that Celine Tidecaller and Gavin are brother and sister, and they are the children of, it's not Silas, babe, it's like Sewell.
Sewell. Yeah, it is Sewell.
Sewell.
It's not Silas,
and
babe.
He was because it's not Silas from Bridge Kingdom. And he was the head of their house, but the magic that they have, which is what Gavin has, not Celine, is really like coveted. Yeah. So they kind of forced him out because they're like almost scared of his magic. And that's why Gavin hides what no one really knows. Apart from like Eric, no one really knows what Gavin can do. And that's why they lie about what everyone is. Oh, really sad. Livia's stuck. She's pretty fucked, to be honest. Yeah. Daddy Varan Ferris makes his way over to the Ever. Not her mum, just her dad. Yeah. And with Jonas and Sander and Alexei. Yeah,
because her mum is mortal. Her mum is human. So humans can't pass through the barrier at this point.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, okay. So that's why her mum has to stay behind.
Yeah, I knew her mum was mortal, but I didn't
realize.
Then,
it's the Ever and the Earth Fae versus this misty Nat Haven.
And like, I know we jump about, if you listen to us, you'll know this, but honestly for me, the scene where Eric Bloodsinger's ship shows up on the shores of Nat Haven and then her dad gets off the ship and basically like, because Livia's dad's magic, or Varen's earth magic, is more powerful than Livia's. Yeah. He literally basically like uproots the entire island. Yeah. That's basically how they get it back. Like he literally just
and she's setting fires to try and like lead them to where she is.
Yeah. And am I right in saying that Sandra and Alexei and Jonas are with them when they attack?
Yeah, because Skadi ends up stabbing Sandra.
Yes, of course she's
trying to
protect
her grandfather because she doesn't know why they're there. Yeah. She doesn't know if they're there to hurt her or not. Yeah. She's scared for her grandfather. Arion is popping in and out with his light magic.
Yes.
And she got Sandra.
And also, her and her grandfather's involvement in this big ploy is kind of like they don't really want it. They've been dragged into it by Arion. Arion's the one who's put her grandfather in a sleep, has then forced Skadi to do the things that she doesn't really want to do, but she has to. So yeah, them being the bad guys is like not really their fault. Yeah. They didn't really sign up for that conflict. It was much more Arion and the light elf thing. But yeah, she guts I think, am I right in saying Jonas uses his magic on her?
Yeah.
But then she guts Sander.
No, so she guts Sander, and then Jonas uses his nightmare magic on her to put nightmares in her head.
Which we're jumping ahead because we have read The Mist Thief, but like waff.
Yeah.
Big waff. But they get Livia back.
And they take Skadi too.
I don't remember that. Okay.
And her grandfather. They all go to the end.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, because they get her back, but they haven't defeated them, have they? So like they know there's going to be another fight to come.
Oh, is there? Oh, okay. I don't remember that.
Yeah, they like come to the Ever, don't they? They turn up at the shores of the Ever,
I don't remember that. I thought that was it.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I did remember that being
We've been recording for 10 minutes and we're done.
I did remember the whole her getting saved was quite early on in the book, and I was wondering, but I was like, maybe it's just 75% and then banging, to be honest.
We do get a lot of that. His grandmother alludes to the fact that there was like a sacrifice, and that the sacrifice has to be upheld.
Oh.
And Jonas offers to have like impelling magic on him, that he's always impelled to protect the Ever. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I do now you're saying it. Yeah.
They all go back to the Fae, don't they?
Yes.
The Fae lands, and Skadi is there.
Yeah.
And she mists away like the vortex between the worlds.
Yes.
Which means then that like her mother, Livia's mother, can come and visit her and stuff. But yeah, there's something about like the vortex was like the... Oh no, I can't remember, but there was something about like a contract basically, and that something else had to fulfill it. And Jonas was like, well, I'll do it.
Oh.
And like he has like, at some point in the book, Eric's grandmother goes to the Fae realm as like a bargain, and she's stuck there, and they're talking through like seashells and like bones and stuff. But then he says like, you have to come home, you have to come back to your like coven. And she says, well, somebody else has to take the bargain up then.
Yeah.
And Jonas says, well, you can put the bargain on me that I will always protect the Ever, and like I'll always be impelled to protect the Ever. So he doesn't have to stay there necessarily, but he's always impelled to protect them.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
There's like a transfer of bargain then between the grandmother and Jonas.
Oh, shit.
And then they say like, oh, well, what are we going to do about Skadinia? Because like this Arion could pop back up.
Well, and also we learn about Skadinia's powers that like she actually can't harm him. She can't harm her own kind.
Yeah.
But so like it starts to click that if they have an alliance with the elves, they're never going to be able to use Skadi's power against them. And that's where Jonas comes in and says, well, I'll fucking marry her.
Yeah.
Because then I'm her kin, and she can't. And like Jonas is like, you know, he's not just what is the Alvas?
Yeah.
It applies to all of like their lands. He's like, well, if I marry her, everyone's protected. Like nobody can be hurt. Like not Livia, not Varen, like no one. My mum and dad, like nobody.
And everyone's fucking horrified by that.
Yeah, it does not go down well.
And he's like, I don't care.
Well, at that point, I think he's a bit like...
But he says, though, even at that point, at the end of the Ever Queen, he says, I'm not doing it because I feel impelled to. I'm doing it because I want to do this for our families.
Yeah, he just wants to... He says as well, like, when he talks about what happens to Livy, he's like, it's the most terrifying thing that's ever happened. He's like, I can't see people die.
Yeah.
Like, our history, there's been too many wars. We've lost too many people. I just want to keep everyone safe, and this is going to keep everyone safe, and I'll do it. Like, he doesn't care. Doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He'll do it. When Livia gets back, you mentioned this last week, but she actually, Eric declares her as queen before she gets kidnapped, but she doesn't really get to like experience that. Yeah. So when she gets back, she does actually get to see her throne for the first time.
And her crown.
And is her crown made out of bones?
Yes. Yeah, she gets all the bones of anyone who's ever hurt her. Her crown is made out of them, and she has bone jewellery as well.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Stunning. And we get a throne bang.
And a throne bang that's so hard that the throne ends up like 10 paces back from the other throne where they started, because he's like smashed her across the room.
Can't see right now, but I am kicking my feet.
The smut in this, because Eric is filthy.
I feel like in the second book, and we kind of touched on it last week, but I feel like again they muddle for me, but I remember vividly this book being particularly, because we mentioned it last week, but like when he had sexual interactions in the past, it's been very like contractual, very like, don't look at me, head down, let's not touch, we'll just do it. And he always says like, oh, I just always know that people are disgusted by me because of my physical, like he has a lot of scars, like people are like physically disgusted. And also I think as well, his magic is so scary that people are like, oh, don't touch him. But like, so when he does eventually do it with Livia, like I feel like he's been holding back, hasn't he? Let's be honest. But he doesn't hold back with her. This is skipping really far ahead, but like, who cares? The final scene in this book, we've spoken about this recently, where basically the final scene is that they're back in her realms, in her mum and dad's palace, in her room, and they're banging, or have just banged, and they're both naked, and her little brother just bursts in the room. And their mum is like following after him, like, no. And Eric, is he on top of her? And he rolls. Yeah, well, he's like trying to like pull the blanket round him, and he's like, oh, I just saw Eric's bum. And he falls, and obviously, and he's like, I just saw Bloodsinger's ass. Like, it's so funny. Honestly, like, I sometimes find stuff like that can be a little corny, but I don't know, it was done really well. Like, it made me laugh. I love that. Yeah, it's so funny. So funny. The relationship that forms between her younger brother and him. Well, when they're like, so I'm going to say phoning each other. They're not phoning each other, you know, talking to each other. Through like this bowl or whatever. It's hilarious. He's really funny, a little brother. He's really like, funny. Eric's like trying to have like a serious conversation with her mum and dad about like their plan, and the little brother's like, "Is that Eric? Is that Bloodsinger?" Like wanting to speak to him. He's so sweet, cool, doesn't he? Yeah, it's really and he's cute. Like, he tells him like he's been practicing his sword play, and like he's like, "Oh, I'll show you," and just really sweet. Yeah, it's lovely. A lovely little family dynamic, I will say that. That is one thing I'll say about LJ's writing, is like the way she makes you feel like family units, and like almost like you're part of it too. Like, I'm part of this family. I think as well for Eric, what's really interesting is like, it probably is quite hard for him to adapt, because Livia's family is such a like traditional family, but they love each other so hard. Like, no one's got any like daddy or mummy issues in that family. So her parents have, but not Livia. So like, they all just like love each other, kiss each other, hug each other, and then he's like brought into this family, and he's like, and obviously, like, his dad's dead, his mum's dead at his hands. He's used to just being him. Yeah, he didn't know he had any siblings. He's an only child. The only person he's ever had is Tate. Well, and then the only sibling he does have tries to kill him. Yeah. And like, let's be honest, like, Tate's his cousin, but like, he's got so many issues. Yeah, but also, we didn't mention this last week, but when Livia's getting kidnapped, the brother stabs Tate, and she assumes that Tate's dead. So when they turn up to Nat Haven, I was going to say Mist Haven, when they turn up to Nat Haven and rescue her, she's like, Tate? And he's like, he's alive. I forgot because she just assumes like he must be dead, because so Eric sings him back to life, and he's like, you've wasted time saving me. You need to chase after her. And he was like, oh, I couldn't leave, you know, you're my family, I couldn't leave you. Literally his only member, at that point, his only member of family. Another interesting thing about this book, which we only got reminded about in Mist Thief, but it isn't a spoiler, I just don't think it was ever like addressed, or maybe it is in Everqueen, I don't remember, but I feel like because the end of Everqueen is like the beginning of Mist Thief, so you get a little bit of like Everqueen in Mist Thief, but it's not a spoiler, is that like he actually doesn't marry Livia. No. So yeah, isn't that wild that like they're so madly in love? We kind of basically find out that it's kind of like heart mate sort of thing. Yeah. But they're not married. No. Which is really interesting. But I feel like they just don't need it, do they? They claim each other, don't they? They're a bit like, well, we don't need that. I claim you, you claim me. Well, I mean, he does say it though, again, not a spoiler, but he does say it at the beginning of Mist Thief. He's like, we're next, like we're doing it. But also like, they're so mad, she's the queen, like they're so madly in love, they don't need it, do they? She's like, been crowned like literally in front of all the people, shagged on his throne, and like she took away all the blight or whatever it's called. I don't know if it was called, no, but like the darkness, whatever's poison in the land, she sucks it all away with her magic. But he helped her. I forgot to say that. Oh, does he? Yeah, when he's got his hand on her, he like can channel magic into her, and it like makes her magic more. So like she's able to do more, and he walks with her like through the lands while she's pulling out all this like rotten poison. That's so cute. Yeah, he ends up killing his brother. I was just thinking what happens to his brother, but he dies, does he? Yeah. I mean, serves him right. Yeah, fuck. Also, if he hadn't have killed his brother, let's be honest, technically, not that I'm anti-Eric Bloodsinger, but like his brother technically was the rightful heir to the throne. I know, now I'm doubting myself and thinking he was younger and he was like a bastard after Eric. Maybe. I don't know, I can't remember. Either way, fuck off, innit? yeah, whatever.
Not invited.
You're not Eric Bloodsinger.
Yeah. Oh, I've read too much. I've overconsumed.
Do you know what as well in the Everseas is, I don't recall, but you don't get many multiples of magics.
Yeah.
Like basically and it's the same.
It's hard to remember them all. How does LJ remember them all?
Like even, again, not a spoiler, but like when you come to Misty with the Alvas, they've got their whole own like thing. And pretty much, I don't think there's any, well, maybe the Broken Kingdoms, but none of the main characters in the Everseas, no one has crossover magic. No. So it's not like, oh, they're autumn court, they're spring court. Yeah. Like everyone's got an individual take on a magic. So it's hard to remember.
And it must have been wild plotting this out and plotting out individual magics for every single person and like how they're going to interact with other people's magic and like, you know. But I feel like after for LG, because class.
But also, like, after you've written 9 books in a world, this is the thing. Then when it comes to I'm not saying it's easy, but like when it comes to the Ever, she's 9 books into that world. She knows that world like inside out. So yeah, I feel like probably when it came to the Ever, it like was just an extension, wasn't it? You know, at that point, like creative juices are flowing. You know, it's not about the books, but one thing we can talk about because it's relevant and it's our podcast. Is we actually got special edition duology of this.
Oh,
let's talk about that for a whole minute.
They are fucking gorgeous.
So they're actually official sponsors of this podcast, which is The Ink Pages, and it's run by our good friend Chris, and they do special edition books of like all your favorites. And the first duology they did was the Ever King and the Ever Queen.
Yes.
And I unfortunately did not get off the sign-up list quick enough to be able to get them. So kind of the time had passed and we were like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But loads of people doing their unboxings and we were like, oh, gutted. We wish we got them, but it is what it is. And then kind of like other things happened where, because we decided to do a Trial of Fate as one of our author spotlights, which is coming out in March, I think it is. And then Chris was like, oh, we're doing a Trial of Fate as a special edition. We'd like to send you some. And we were like, come be our sponsors. Let's make a beautiful partnership together.
Yes.
And then we said to Chris, like, oh, we were gutted we never got our hands on the Everseas duology. And she was like, well, besties, I have some left. And then we were like, sign our souls up. You just moved into this house. You were definitely not supposed to be spending that kind of money on special edition books. I was definitely skint. I did not have that kind of money to be spent on special edition books. But for the Ever King and Ever Queen, we were like, fuck it. And they actually came this week.
Yes.
And they are works of art.
You opened it.
Yes. They're on my bookshelf.
How have you displayed it?
It's not done. I've just put they're in the box. I will do them properly because I
don't know how to do it.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have one book, and then the box in the middle. Nice. So like a little trio. You know what I mean? Like a little thing.
Nice.
Because the box is so beautiful. I can't just put the books out and push the box to the back. Like it's a thing of its own. But I think it's going to be Eric on the box, not Livia. Sorry, love you, Livia, but we're sluts. But Eric Bloodsinger, yeah. And that Eric Bloodsinger art in particular is
with the head scarf and like
I didn't think headscarves would do it for me, but they do now.
Yeah. And the hoop earring.
Well, I've learnt my lesson about piercings with Metal Slinger, haven't I? So yeah, we just needed to say that
there is an unboxing on our TikTok and Instagram, but it would have been like of November, beginning of December.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
So you might have to scroll a little bit.
But it's worth it because they are hot. And like, unfortunately, but one of the things that Chris only does like limited runs of stuff. So I don't know, maybe she'll release more Ever King and Ever Queen, maybe she won't. But she's got loads of new ones up and coming. Fear the Flames.
Yes.
And Metal Slinger.
Yes.
Which we will be probably spending too much money on once again. Not too much. She adequately prices her special edition books. It's just, they're a splurge, and a splurge that we unfortunately do far too often.
We're splurgers.
Splurge all over. What's wrong with us tonight?
I know, stop it. One thing we haven't talked about with Ever duology is we do get a lot of Mira.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't feel like we got that.
Comes to the fight.
Yeah, does she have magic?
Yeah.
She must, because her mum and dad do.
What's her mum and dad's?
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. No, I don't remember Mira that much in it. But maybe that's just me. But we do.
But I thought that's where the heart walker thing starts.
That's what I was just going to say. We must get Mira at the end of it because, again, it's like not a setup for Misty. You get way more of it in Misty. But the 4th book in the Everseas, which is coming out 2025, if I'm correct, is that like Mira takes a fucking liking to Tate.
Yeah. And he hates her.
She literally says because like Mira's so enigmatic, she's so like lovable, everybody swoons over her, and she says he's the only person that doesn't like me.
Yeah.
He does not want to know. He finds her insufferable.
Yes.
And she is like a dog with a bone because of it, because she cannot tolerate the fact that like one person doesn't like her. She will not leave him be.
Yeah.
I'm so excited
it's like
for their book.
Grumpy Sunshine, but like times 10,000.
Like, like on the biggest scale. I'm so excited for their book.
Same, and just because like now that I've read Miss Thief, it's just made me remember how much I love LJ's writing. Because even though she's writing like really good plot and really good characters, she's also writing really fun stories. Yeah. Even though there's like trauma and tragedy and, you know, wars and fights and all the rest of it, it's still so much fun to read.
Yeah, they're so enjoyable.
Yeah.
They're such a like adventure, like
fun, and like the way that she intertwines magics, because like, I don't know, like when you think of like Eric and Livia, and you know, their magic shouldn't work together, but it does. Skadi and Jonas, their magic shouldn't work together, but it does. But one thing that LJ does say in her interview, which is coming out in a week's time.
You give a little spoiler.
I'll give you a little spoiler.
Ooh.
She said that Sander will get a book. And she said that Sander is the freakiest of them all.
These authors need to stop like saving the freaky ones till the end.
Yeah.
Like prioritize the freaky ones. Also, again, not a spoiler, but you do get at the end of Miss Thief, which we now know, the premise and the setup for Mira and Tate's book, which is basically they were trying to travel back to Mira's lands in the Earthly Realms and they get lost. They've kind of gone shipwrecked. And that's going to be their force proximity book. I need that Sander book immediately, though, please.
Yes, same. I hope LJ's already writing it, because I'm sure I've seen quotes from the
book 4.
Yeah,
the Mira book. I think it's done. I think that's done. So I can't remember. Can't remember.
If you sign up to LJ's newsletter, she just like releases fun little things sometimes, and she released like a WhatsApp group chat between like all the cousins, but then like Eric, Tate, like they're all in there as well. Oh my god, it's so funny.
Oh my god, I need to go read that. Yeah. That's adorable.
It's really funny.
Yeah, I've seen that she's doing like a new subscription thing, isn't she? With like her, it's not a Patreon, but it kind of is like a type thing. She has. I will say, I am actually subscribed to her newsletter, but I didn't realize that. But she puts out so much bonus content, like so much stuff. I would highly recommend it.
She is a giver.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
and we are receiving.
She gave us Eric Bloodsinger, let's be honest. Like, I can't believe he's going to be the freakiest, because I feel like I feel like Eric Bloodsinger is a freak.
Yes.
And I feel like Jonas is quite like he gives off the vibe he's bookish, isn't he? Yeah. Like he's the bookish, intelligent one. Like,
oh wait, no, Sander.
Sorry, Sander. Jonas is the rake.
Yeah.
So for Sander to be the freaky one, because
but maybe he's read all the right romance. That's what I'm saying.
It's like not it's not a spoiler for Axel, but it kind of is. It's like it's always the quiet ones, like Azrael, isn't it? You know.
Maybe he's read all the anatomy books. He knows where everything is.
I need that book in my life biblically.
Yeah,
like I need it. Like I need air in my lungs.
Yeah.
As much as I'm excited for Mira and Tate, LJ, if you're listening, I need that Sander book. Yeah.
But if you're listening to this and you did the Everseas duology and stopped,
go read Miss Thief right now.
Jonas
Erickson.
For me, blew Eric Bloodsinger out the water.
I don't know, it's hard because I think
they're very different people.
Yeah, Jonas is much more like lovable and he's so like, oh, like I love a cocky man, you know? Eric's cocky but not in that way. But Eric's like so problematic.
Yeah.
Like Jonas is violent, but he's not as violent as Eric Bloodsinger. No, I don't think he is. He's not carving bones out of fucking. I feel like Eric is more consistently evil, like, but in a hot way.
Yeah.
Whereas Jonas is a bit more like, even though he's seen as like the Shadow Prince, he's loved by like everybody loves Jonas.
Yeah.
Like, whereas not many people speak that highly of Eric. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, not even Tate speaks that highly of Eric. Everyone's like, he's just a bit fucking nuts. We love him, but he's a bit fucking nuts.
Once I feared violence and bloodshed, now I can think of nothing else but making them suffer. I think they've made me a monster, Gavin. His palm cupped the side of my face. No, they've made our queen their villain, and I cannot wait for them to realise their mistake.
Can we talk about this scene? Because we talked about this scene, but like, let's really talk about it. I know that there was no intended sexual tension between.
There was though, wasn't there?
Yeah, when it happened, I was like, Gavin,
yeah, like you need to step down.
But also, like, why choose? I know.
But also, he touches her, doesn't he? The guy who's got her captive, who is like working.
The one that's promised to Scaddy.
No, maybe.
The prince.
Whoever imprisons her on that island. I didn't think it was Arion, but maybe it is. They touch her, don't they?
Oh, do they? Oh, I don't remember that. Oh, he's a fucking pig anyway, isn't he?
No, aren't they like trying to, and that's when Gavin turns up and ends up killing them.
Oh, what, they're gonna like hurt her, like assault her?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't remember that. But yeah, that Gavin.
Yeah,
sorry,
I know.
Well, imagine if that had been the plot twist of the century.
What do you not understand? I care nothing for my life if she is not in it.
He's so upset at this point. Like so obviously for like pretty much until she's rescued, he's unhinged.
Yeah. This is a nice little Olivia quote.
Okay.
If I must choose between two bloodthirsty men, I would rather stand by a fiend who fights for his love than a fiend who fights for himself.
Who's she talking about? Eric, obviously, and some. Okay. Okay.
Nice one.
Lovely, yeah, I loved it.
What did I tell you, love? Fear is powerful. Every mind sees it differently, but it is my honour to walk you through yours. No matter how illogical you think them to be, would you not do the same?
Okay, we need to take a fucking minute because I forgot about this and you've just reminded me. He calls her love, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a second to talk about this. Now, we're not where we're from in the UK. In the UK, calling someone love is like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like if someone calls you love, it's, I don't know,
it's almost like derogatory.
It is.
Like, I'd be like, what do you fucking say?
But there's something about an American doing it.
Yeah. Hello. And the fact that Eric, hello, love.
Yes.
Oh.
This is what I mean. So like Eric Bloodsinger can do it. And that does it for me. That does it for me. Him calling her love, sign me up.
Sign me up. She needs me to find her. She needs me to remind her how to breathe.
Because
that's what he does when she's having panic attacks. He's like, breathe in, out, breathe. And like really helps her through her. So she's probably out there panicking and she hasn't got him to remind her. Don't trouble yourself, heart talker. I can manage. I had no intention of troubling myself, Tate grumbled. And it's Heart Walker. Is that Mira and Tate?
I love them so much.
One thing that happens when she goes to Nat Haven, Arion makes Scaddy take the bond between Livia and Eric.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Shit, does she? Does she give it back?
No, it's gone. She missed it. It's gone. Because this quote has just reminded me. Listen to me, love, Eric whispered against my lips. Whatever that bastard thinks he took from us, he failed. I belong to you, every wretched piece of me. I've no need for spells or bonds to prove it. I choose you, Livia Ferris, for much longer than my last breath.
Honestly, I need to fucking reread this soon because
she takes the bond, and I'm sure Livia says it really hurts. Like she feels the bond going.
Every wretched piece of me.
I know.
Oh, but Daddy, I love him. Literally, that's her in book 2 though, because Varen Ferris shows up and is like, "Are you sure this is the one that you want?"
The person working with the guy on Nat Haven is Fionn, who was betrothed to Eric. She's like this woman who's like puppet master, and Livia kills her.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Wow, I don't remember that. Okay.
I am Livia Ferris, I said, voice rough as a blade over stone. I am the Ever Queen, and you, Fionn, are no longer welcome in my kingdom.
Why was Eric betrothed to somebody else? Please tell me why.
I remember.
Oh, okay. Oh, naughty Eric.
No, not like years ago, not like anytime.
Oh, when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Not okay.
Yeah, fuck Fionn.
Oh, okay.
Respectfully, I'd cut off his balls and shove them down his damn throat if he sneered at me once more.
What was he talking about? I don't know. That's so funny.
Light in the darkness, leading two lost hearts home.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, he tells her the story about the star in the sky. The guy, he tells her like a love story between two people, like an old, I don't know, tale of the Void Walker. And then the stars in the sky so that she can always see him. And then Livia's quote is, "When I was gone, I hoped the gods might let me live in both skies like Void Walker." Oh, sorry, no, this is Eric, sorry. "When I was gone, I hoped the gods might let me live in both skies like Void Walker. That way I could always see her."
Oh, God.
This book, like, is, like, heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
And, like, you get a lot of revelations from Eric of him, like, you know, talking about the abuse he suffered as a child.
Yeah, I do,
like,
yeah.
He really opens up, and I feel like Livia talks more about, like, her, like, traumas as well, like her night terrors. I feel like we get into that once she's been rescued. I feel like we get into that a lot more as well.
Yeah.
All round class book.
Yeah.
Class duology.
5-star for me.
Yeah,
We said it last week.
Yeah,
but, like,
both of them 5 stars,
a hard
and then
5-star.
the whole thing 5 stars. Misty 5 stars.
Yeah.
Gonna go. Oh, sorry. Gonna go back and read The Broken Kingdom. Probably 5-star that.
Yeah, I've only read the first 3, but they're really
I
enjoyable.
think I'm gonna try and do all that Christmas.
Really, they're all on KU. Everything has
I've added them all to my
okay, good. I'm so glad.
They're all on there already.
I do want to read. I'd love to read Jonas and Sander's mum and dad's books. Case and
I feel like
Mally, they call her.
Mal, they call it.
Mally, yeah.
Like Malene, is it, or Malin?
Yeah, Malin, yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking hilarious together.
So funny.
And is it Alexei who's got 2 dads?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sol and
Want to read theirs as well.
And Sol is Varen's older brother.
Oh, okay.
So
because
his dad and Livia's dads are brothers.
In one of the books, I can't remember which one, whether it's Ever Queen or Ever King, we find out that one of Alexei's dads gets killed on the battlefield, and because Alexei can see things through the earth, he sees his dad get killed on the battlefield. But they all tell him it was a nightmare, because obviously his dad comes back from battle, so they all just say it was just a nightmare, but actually what he saw was real, and Eric sang him back to life.
Shit, yeah.
And when he's captured as a child, I can't remember his name, but Livia's like personal guard offers to take Eric in and says like you can come and stay with me and my wife and we'll look after you, but he says no, because if you remember when he comes to kidnap Livia, her guard talks to Eric like he already knows him, and he's like, come on now, you don't want to do this. Like, he's like, come on now, son, you don't want to do this. But it's because, like, when he was captured, he was with him.
Oh my God.
I know. A lot of bloody revelations with these books. Like,
yeah.
Because obviously, Livia's dad killed Eric's dad, and Eric's not okay with it. But I think, like, the realization he comes through this book is that his dad was, like, too bloodthirsty, too, like, all about the power, and not, like...
Yeah, because I didn't know this, because it's referenced in the Ever King or Ever Queen, but obviously I've not read all the books in the Broken Kingdoms. But when we interviewed LJ, which is technically in the future, but it has already happened, she mentions that them referencing what happens with Eric getting kidnapped and Eric's dad dying actually happens in the Broken Kingdom series. So yeah, even more of a reason to read on, because I think we get that in a bit more detail, as opposed to just like in this it's just like reference and it is what it is. But yeah, we probably get that in a lot more detail, and Eric features as a child in those books.
Yeah, I'm excited to read them now.
Oh, LJ, you just add to our TBR.
But she's working on a new series now as well.
It's coming out. It's written, it's traditionally published. I think she said it was coming out with, you'll have to tune in next week, but like Penguin maybe?
I don't know. No.
Oh.
Can't think what it's called. Like Victoria's House or Victoria.
Oh, I don't know.
I kind of, that could be, watch now, it will be Penguin, and you'll be like, fucking wrong, Sam.
But that's like a new series.
Yes.
It's of its own right.
Different. Yeah, completely different.
But yeah, so tune in next week. She definitely gives us really good insight as to like what's to come in the Everworld.
We videoed it for anyone who's in the UK. We videoed it during the red weather warning.
Yeah, the storm.
And obviously the red weather warning went off on our phones. And, you know, for anyone who's in the UK, you know that it's quite loud. It's a loud alarm.
Yeah, we've never had them before in the UK. Maybe in the US, you guys are more frequent to it. But like, it's basically where like you can't turn it off. Like even if your phone's on silent, it's going to go off. And it's literally like a siren.
So me and B were both screaming because we didn't know what it was, and like we were like flapping, and I was trying to turn it off, and we were like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, like, oh, this is the weather warning, blah blah blah. I listened back to it because I was like, oh, that'll be a really funny clip, like us panicking over it. the microphone doesn't pick up the siren. So she's just carrying on talking because she can't hear anything from our end.
Yeah.
But we're both screeching like banshees, and she's like looking at us as if, what the fuck is going on? She must have thought we were insane.
Literally. And it happened twice. Your phone did it, then my
and then
phone
like 10 minutes later, Bees did it.
But there's nothing we can't turn it off. There's nothing you can do.
But the microphone doesn't pick it up, so we just look like absolute wallies.
Literally, it's so funny.
Oh, I was pissing myself. I was like, oh, it's going to be such a funny clip. But no.
She just thought we were knobheads.
Yeah, both of us looking like idiots, basically.
And what was so funny, like, bless her, she was so kind, but she was like, oh my gosh, like, stay safe, like, hope you're okay. Because, yeah, like, where she's from in the US, like, they have, like, tornadoes and stuff. And we were like, Sam, and she was like, what's the weather like? And we were looking out the window in Sam's office, it was literally just, like, a patter of rain.
I was like, windy.
It wasn't even windy. No. I drove home after that.
Yeah,
it was absolutely fine.
Yeah, so B was leaving mine. I was like, oh, be safe, like, blah, blah, blah. I texted her. I was like, how was the drive? She was like, fine.
Literally.
I was like, oh.
It didn't start till like later
it was
in the
like
night.
3 a.m.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Later, but yeah.
Honestly, LJ must think we're the most dramatic people in the world. We're screaming.
Weird fucking British people.
Yeah. Not going on their podcast again. Anything else? What have we got coming up then?
LJ.
And then we
actually don't know after that. We need to pull our fingers out of our asses because we had to plan so far in advance. I don't think we could have done any more.
Onyx Storm will be out.
Yeah, I think maybe it's a good one. It's a single week, innit? We just get it, wham bam, and done.
If we read it in time.
Let's see if Rebecca wants to come on. Should we try? I don't know. Can we ask her on if we don't like her books? Yeah. We don't not like them.
No, we do not like them. I just don't agree with the endings of some of them.
It's not even the endings. It's just the other bits. It's the rest of it.
I'll take the dragons, I'll take the cadets, and I'll take the throne bang, please.
Yeah, it's not even a throne bang.
Oh, all right, yeah, throne feasting.
Yeah, I'm a better. This is Everqueen's got a better throne bang.
Oh. Yeah, where else do we get a throne bang? We definitely have another one. Yeah,
We Will Devour the Night.
Oh, We Will Devour the Night. Yeah, that was class.
We've had a few recently. I can't think. Oh, you're going in Rain of Rose.
No, I don't think so. That's what I was just thinking. I can't think. I've overconsumed. I can't remember the stories anymore.
Which is the whole point.
Yeah. We do. Soul Forge is already out, our first author spotlight, but come in next week or the week after on the 27th of January, we have Me and the Devil.
Me and the Devil.
Which is by a Welsh author.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Very exciting. Very, very, very exciting. Can you tell we've been doing this for 3 hours?
Literally 3 hours of recording. I fucking lost the will to live.
Go have another Candy King cocktail.
I'm going to have to work on that before Friday, aren't I? But the creme de menthe is so small, like I can only use it sparingly to test it.
Do you know what doesn't help, right, is the creme de menthe is green.
Yeah.
And it makes, with the red, it makes it go brown, which is not a vibe.
Yeah.
I don't really know what you do to fix that. Not much, really.
Thank you. Thank you. That was the Evers duology, the Everseas.
Maybe we'll do Miss Seaford. Oh, we're going to do Miss Seaford Patreon.
No, we're doing all the Akatas.
Well, I know we did it in December.
We could do Miss Thief as the final week of after LJ.
Yeah, let's do Miss Thief. We loved it.
There we go then.
There we are.
We've just live on air. Yeah, live on air. We've just made a decision. After LG, we will do Miss Thief.
And then maybe Onyx Storm. It gives us time to read Onyx Storm. Yeah. You're welcome.
But yeah, anything you want us to read this year? Obviously, we are doing a Tog reread.
That's for season 2.
Yeah. For March.
We've got a little bit of a gap now for the end of season 1. So like Feb, most of Feb, beginning of March.
Yeah.
So if there's any little ones.
Yeah, that we can sneak in. Or if you've got any like monster romances that are quite short and quick that you want us to read.
Standalones.
Yeah, anything you want us to read, let us know, because we do have like 5 weeks that are wide open at the moment.
Yeah.
Then we take a little 2-week hiatus and we come back for season 2 with Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. And we're going to do a week per book.
And get ready for a lot of crying.
Oh, yeah. Get your tissues out.
I'm going to cry probably every single episode.
This series does things. So yeah, that's our lineup. And then after Tog, who knows? We'll get some more authors on, hopefully.
Let's see.
Yeah, we'll see what we could do. But yeah, anything you want us to do, anything you want us to reach out, anyone you want us to reach out to, anything you want us to read, please reach out. Now is the time, because we're still, plotting our year.
Yeah, we've got a little gap now.
Yeah, we're still plotting our year out. So if there's stuff you want us to read, now is the time to slide in our DMs, message us, email us, whatever, and have your say.
Yes. Yes.
Are we done?
Oh, I fucking hope so, because I got to pee like a racehorse.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening.
Follow us on TikTok and Instagram @apod of Smut and Wingspan.
See you next week.
Bye.